146 and in the Ejechun decision. So no wrong has been established. Now what the MPP is seeking to do, which sometimes I even feel sad and is not working, is calling on women to speak up. Please, Madam Vivian Lamte, I want to ask respectfully, was she a hermaphrodite? Charlotte Osei, was she a man? Or the MPP, and in any case, the Chief Justice, is she a member of the MPP? The MPP saw nothing wrong. You know, in even discussing this, we want to compare it to the procedural treatment that both parties are even receiving. In the case of the Chief Justice, she has been given copies of the petition. In fact, the last two that also came, she has been given copies. So she has copies of all 5 petitions. In the case of Madam Charlotte Osei, I have here in my hands a letter that Madam Charlotte Osei wrote to the then Chief Justice, Sophia Ekufu, asking that even before the committee will hear me out on my guilt or otherwise, I pray that I should be furnished with copies of the said petition and the names of the petitioners. The presidency did not give. The then Chief Justice did not give.
Oh, she requested at the time?
She requested for it. She was not given. And all of a sudden, the apostles of rule of law.
That's because there's no legal obligation. Then you can use that as a,
yes,
as a case.
If there was no legal obligation,
okay,
but there was even an ethical obligation.
Okay.
That, you know, in the case, the Chief Justice said, we want to hear you. It is different if the Chief Justice takes the opinion that at the stage of determining this case, I don't need to listen to you first. Maybe you will have your day at the committee level. Then we can say that it is her discretion. We can challenge whether she exercised the right discretion or not. But this time, you wrote to her that a petition has been brought against you and I'm here to determine a prima facie. So bring me your responses. Responses without copies of the petition. She was only told, perhaps via hearsay.
So when she said, can I have a copy of the petition, she had been requested,
yes,
to bring her responses,
yes,
without having
the
copies.
Chief Justice then, Sophia Ekufu, wrote to her that there is a petition against you, and the effect of the petition is that you've done A, B, C, D. So respond so that I can make a determination. Then she writes back and says,
can I have copies?
Before I respond to you, can I have copies? And then they said she is unable to give her copies and that she has made a determination and has referred the matter to the committee to investigate her, so she should go back there. Where were the apostles of the rule of law? So this is a marked departure from what President Mahama has done. President Mahama actually gave the
I'm a little interested into the details. Did she get a chance to even do any response at all?
At the premier facie level, no. It was at the main committee level.
Oh, okay.
And Afenyo Markin and the Muslim women and Christian mothers and all the Ghanaian women they were calling on did not know that Madame Charlotte Osei also had breast and she had blood flowing through her, so she was a woman. And that as a woman, she also had been heard. And all of a sudden, it is only Madame Isaba. I actually like the Araba Isaba name a lot. Madame Araba Isaba is the only woman. Thankfully, even the Christian mothers or whatever have come out to say they haven't made these responses.
Okay.
And so there is fundamentally nothing wrong. Now, let me come to the Ghana Bar Association.
Land.
That I am a member of the Ghana Bar Association.
You want to be careful.
I can never be careful. I don't know why people fear the Ghana Bar Association.
No,
I am a member.
I'm saying so because you're a member.
So what?
I mean,
I
know the
yes,
history
I am a
of
member,
comments you've made.
I am a member of the Ghana Bar Association. I mean, nobody can intimidate me, not even the Ghana Bar. So they know me. We all meet in court. We know ourselves. We are not afraid of ourselves. Maybe non-lawyers can fear Ghana Bar Association, but not me as a member of the association. You see, the Ghana Bar Association started on a very good note. And then I can tell you this on authority, on the MPP lawyers platform, Godfred Dame and the Deputy Attorney General started rallying lawyers behind. In fact, they were practically taking register, asking MPP lawyers to be present at the mid-year conference that the Ghana Bar Association wanted to hold so that they come to put pressure on President Mahama.
Sorry, can you?
Yes.
What did you say?
I'm saying that the MPP, NDC lawyers, we have our platform. MPP lawyers also have their WhatsApp platform. After the Ghana Bar Association released a statement, a written statement for that matter, saying that President Mahama has done nothing, and that they, as Ghana Bar Association, they were unable to even comment on the matter because the matter was before a court. And so they urged all parties to go in accordance with law. Then I realized that the MPP lawyers were not happy because this is not the Ghana Bar Association they know. So quickly, they held a mid-year conference and said that, oh, they are making a resolution and asking President Mahama to revoke the suspension. And also the second one is that the proceedings should not be held in camera. I think that Madam Efua-Gate doesn't like the Chief Justice. I think some way, unless she convinced me she likes the Chief Justice, because you cannot on one breath say that the matter is before court, so you cannot speak to it. And another breath say that the president should suspend and say that you should even, things should be held in camera. You see, the image of the Chief Justice, if the proceedings were held in camera, would be so battered that even for the collective image of the judiciary, it will not be good. And so there are even judicial decisions where Supreme Court judges have said that there is a policy rationale behind why certain proceedings ought to be held in camera. So if this morning you wake up and you see the Ghana Bar Association says that we should hold proceedings in the public, then you can tell that Madam Efua-Gate doesn't like. But you see, the Ghana Bar Association, what is instructive is that they were not able to pinpoint one thing, one single thing that President Mahama has done wrong. They were not able to say that the rules of natural justice have been breached. They were not able to say that this is an interpretation of the law that you should not have done. They were not able to say it.
No, it's not that they were not able to say it. That's because there isn't any to say.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's the point. So if there was anything to say, trust that an Efua-Gate is the wife of Mr. Joe Gate, who is an MPP person. I'm sure they may even have those discussions in the room before coming out. There is nothing wrong with what has been done. The lesson here for all of us in concluding is that as public servants, or when you have an opportunity to serve the nation, you don't use those opportunities to enrich yourself. You don't use those opportunities to satisfy your ego. You don't use those opportunities to satisfy a political party that you so believe. That at all times, to quote the Chief Justice, the law ought to be the law. As we speak, proceedings from the petition to the referral to the Council of State, to the suspension or the determination of the prima facie case before the suspension, are all in accordance with law. And the law is the law, unless anybody can convince us otherwise. Ghanaians should not fall for any political party that wants to make this an MPP NDC matter, because the Chief Justice is not a member of the MPP. The Chief Justice will have an opportunity and the right to counsel of her choice. I only pray that she will not choose Godfred Dame, because maybe Godfred Dame will not have the opportunity to call judges or the Supreme Court judges on her behalf. Maybe our jurisprudence is changing, and the law certainly will be celebrated like the judges of old, as we had Justice Sowa and Justice Taylor and Justice Datiba and many justices that we have celebrated.
Okay.
So I want to conclude and say that the laws in Ghana would work, and they are working.
Okay.
If we want to have a broader conversation about constitutional review, we need to have, and Annie, let me conclude, let me say this. If you look at the procedure in Article 146 for removing a Supreme Court judge, it is primarily different from in removing a Chief Justice. In fact, if you look at the report of the Consultative Assembly in drafting the Constitution, although they say that in both cases, when it comes to the Superior Court judge, like a Supreme Court judge, you ought to establish that prima facie case. It was actually deliberately removed from the Constitution. In the case of Edichum, read it into it. Whatever it is, we are saying that President Mahama has acted in accordance with law. We salute him as a person who respects the tenets of the Constitution, and we say that the Chief Justice will have her day. At the end of the day, if she has not done anything, she can come back to being a Chief Justice.
But you don't have a problem with the public hearing they are calling for.
But they themselves, they know that the law says that the proceedings will be held in camera. If Agatha knows better than me,
yes, but
that you can only amend the provision.
No, but at the same time, she's established reasons why she thinks that
what
if
reasons,
it's held in public, it won't kill an ant.
She cannot be wiser than the framers of the Constitution.
Okay. So let me read just an excerpt of what is contained. I was just going to make reference to it before you even mentioned the Ghana Bar Association statement. They said, while the GBA recognizes the constitutional prescriptions of the removal of the Chief Justice under Article 146, Clause 6 and 10 or to 10 of the Constitution, and mindful of the fact that presently the entire matter of is sub judice and is the hope of the belief of the GBA that the actors involved in the whole process would have time-tested tenets of the rule of law as a guiding principle in its application. Follow the spirit of the law, and I think that has also been some arguments coming from Vincent's side. Sometimes when we talk about the requirements in the Constitution, he's arguing that you don't just look at the letter, but let's also look at the spirit of it as well. So it is expected.
I don't think Vincent made that argument.
Please, he did. He did on my show, Good Afternoon Ghana. So it's expected that the persons who play even the minutes role in this process will bear it in mind that Article 296 of the 1990 Constitution on the exercise of discretion and will act in a manner that safeguards and enhances the independence and image of the judiciary. Justice emanates from the good people of Ghana, and it is administered by the judiciary headed by the Chief Justice. Well, we'll take a break so I don't interrupt with Laratu, and then when we come back, she'll also have her turn.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
You're the answer to my prayers. You're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi, Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Went to get Polytank.
Oh, and you're right.
Go straight.
No, I want to left, right.
That's right. Ghana na ye wono. So when you do more, and ye data. Oh no! Abe, na here. Me pe Polytank ato. Enu ti na me nua ba you to be a bit na ba you. O food to be a enjoy ye kura.
Akuya bulambo kotoman. Emu ha.
Like they took my eyes. Came to me the go to the distributor and you give the original Polytank. You get a sound?
Polytank, Papananka Sankasa.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Cratchy, unemu bua unkoisha Dr. Ban uye denwa.
Oh, Mr. Yamfan come and me burua.
Mami do buro. Don't ya tell me ko bra. Mumi Yamfan ko Dr. Ban ho. Dr. Ban o ya de. Bra, se ba no mpemu adwuma sasabro slow. Dr. Ban o ye.
Hey, say me kwada meka. Oh, no mpemu nimdi ono na ye expect nya zanfo no. O akra any Kumasi no mpemu expect yen kan kire.
There was a time in Ghana when waste was everyone's problem and no one's responsibility. Do you remember when as children, going to Bola was such a chore? When the guys who worked with waste are shunned in the community, we seem to have forgotten them days when waste management was not dignified. Then came a vision, bold, unshakable, one that believed sanitation was not just a service, but a symbol of dignity. A revolution quietly began. A transformation from one Obuafo tricycle to thousands of waste collection vehicles. From open dump site to adding value to waste. From a job no one wanted to one that feeds thousands of homes. From dump site to dignity.
Alright, you're welcome back to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana, and I'm still in the studio with Bichisana Nesqua and also Laratu Musasaka. Laratu, you will take, yes, you take your turn. We're talking about the issue of the Chief Justice, just in case you just joined the program. Laratu.
It's quite interesting where we've got into as a nation that has survived on 3 arms of government and has always pushed for separation of powers. But before I even go further, Beatrice said she hasn't cited the petitions. And it's asking that the CJ should get better counsel. You have the Ghana Bar Association that has passed the resolution appealing to the president to revoke the suspension of the CJ. And Beatrice here, who hasn't cited the petition, says that the leader of the Bar Association doesn't like the CJ because if the recommendations they've made or the resolutions they passed at their mid-year conference, and one being, apart from revoking the suspension, which is mandated in the Constitution, I think Article 14611, Beatrice here says that the recommendation that the hearing should be public is not a good one because the CJ will be so battered. This is Beatrice who has cited the petition. She also said that, and this is someone who sits at the presidency, part of the presidency, says that the petitions were treated as top secrets, and the petitions are online. So are we safe as a nation under this presidency?
Pardon? The petitions are online?
He said they were, it's online. Go on to Graphic Online. It was posted, Chief Justice Tokonu Chief Justice Tokonu, names of petitioners, full allegations, and official responses leak online. Graphic Online, it was published 5 days ago. And these are documents that Beatrice from the presidency says were treated.
But you didn't listen to her when she said that.
Secrets.
She said it was not public until the Chief Justice received copies of it. And then
But
people
did
started
you
discussing excess of
hear
it.
her say that it was treated as top secret and it's leaked online? That is okay.
What is Laura to say?
She's talking about records. She's talking about past records. We are dealing with a president who has had his first term, who has a record of pardoning 3 men that threatened to rape.
Oh, don't
the
repeat.
first ever
Please,
Chief Justice.
with all due respect, don't
and kill judges.
don't repeat.
I wasn't expecting Beatrice to say anything in favor of the Ghana Bar Association, because on the set, she's used words that I quiver to repeat on the Ghana Bar Association. And she hasn't expressed anything different from that today. But in all this, the way the government is behaving, and I'm not going to make it about MPP and DC. It is not about MPP and DC. It's about the independence of the judiciary. It's about the independence of the judiciary. The points that we all go to when you have issues. We may have our own personal experiences with lawyers, with judges, with courts, with processes. But we haven't stopped taking our grievances to the courts. When the NDC had issues with elections when the New Patriotic Party had issues with the election in 2012, where did we go to? It was the courts. When the NDC had issues with the 2020 elections, where did we go to? It was the court. Any citizen, any institution that has any grievances that go beyond a certain level, that needs interpretations of the law or needs decisions to be taken, goes to the court. And that is what is worrying about what is being done. But the government is behaving as if it's the Chief Justice that is standing in between the promises they made to the people of Ghana and they're fulfilling them. With all the things that they said, with all the promises that they made, what they want to prioritize is destabilizing the judiciary. That we must all be worried.
You're alleging that the government wants... Hold on. You're alleging that the government wants to destabilize the judiciary?
That with all the promises they made...
They're prioritizing destabilizing the judiciary?
Is that what they are doing?
No, you meant the comment. I want to be sure that's the comment you made.
So let me make my case.
No, I'm saying that is that the comment you made?
Let me finish. You understand the point I'm making. Please let me flow. Annie, prior to election 2024, we heard the things the NDC said about the judiciary. We heard the flag bearer then, now president, who used the term unanimous FC. It was the current president. On this set with Beatrice, she took the CJ on to an extent of even mimicking how she preaches in church. You were here. You were here. You laughed about it. She was sitting here. That is why I'm saying that this issue... Mr. Honey, don't laugh.
Why is Parliament not sitting?
This, what is happening now, is not about MPP and DC. It's a premeditated political vendetta against the CJ by the NDC government. Based on the things they said about the CJ and what they are doing now. What is there to hold in camera again when everything is out there? All the details are out there. All the details are out there.
Is the CJ a politician?
Is the CJ a politician? Is she a politician?
In you.
How am I supposed to know that?
Because she said it's a political vendetta.
Yes.
Is she an opponent to the NDC?
Well, that's how they are treating her. But what we know is the judiciary is not political. Oh. At least you know that the president of the republic comes on the ticket of a political party, and when they win, they become the leader of the executive. You know our legislature is made up of people that we elect
at our constituency level. Tell me if there's been any judge that has been made, appointed a judge because they are from party A or party B or party C. To the extent that you have high-ranking officials in the NDC calling a whole CJ the women's organizer.
Yes, but there are judges who have history of holding political, attempting to run for political offices. Those ones are exposed.
Come again. Of course.
If there's a judge that has not held any political office or has not shown his face as a party person,
can you tell me for a fact that they being appointed to the bench or they being appointed as a judge was based on their membership of a political party?
No. But Laura too, I think that this debate, we need to be able to be fair and situate it in the context of political optics. Because if you hold an office that is supposedly supposed to be neutral, and then you are, prior to that office, you have been seen to be holding some very wild party offices, like maybe MP, like political communicator, PC. Like a PC, whatever it is. However you run your office, it is easy to associate you with the party than just someone, we can only assume that you're MPP or you're NDC.
So you know
but if you've held office, your face has been on a flyer.
And that's the case of Justice Tokono?
No. You were talking about appointments to the Supreme Court, and I'm telling you that some of the Supreme Court's appointments...
Yes, they've been on flyers, some were... It came out that they were PCs.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, has there ever been the case where the reference to their competence or whatever was by virtue of the political party they associated with?
You cannot tell. You cannot tell. You can
but
only...
when you go into parliament, you know NDC MPs, you know MPP MPs.
Yes.
You know independent MPs,
Yes.
even though they represent an entirety of a constituency. You can say the president came on the back of NDC. Can you say same for judges? No. So that is where we all go to when we have issues. But when you come to the issue of having people go into all these things, all the things that the NDC said about the Chief Justice and the Judiciary, that's what they are playing out. So I think, and I believe firmly, that what is being done to the CJ is a premeditated political vendetta. And there's background to that with the things they said, including my own sister here on the set. That's even extended to the Ghana Bar Association. So these things, what I will say is, yes, the president has constitutional powers, but there's also discretionary powers. Do you think these discretionary powers are stipulated in the Constitution? That has to be fair, devoid Article 296.
Oh, which one is?
That has to be fair, because obviously you call a whole group unanimous FC. You talk about parking courts. You talk about how the CJ is women organizer of the MPP, all those things. Then you come and set this in motion. It's premeditated. And I think that every well-meaning Ghanaian should be worried about what is happening. And I think in good conscience, if the president and the current government has this nation, the stability of this nation, the public image of this nation, international image of this nation, should heed to the wise counsel of the Ghana Bar Association.
Right.
I'm just being told
I'm sorry,
that...
let me do this before I come to you. So Mansa Musa from UK is saying that, Annie, good morning to you. I've come across a demonstration banner, a placard that reads, "Save the Judiciary." The message has got me wondering if the judiciary is under some identifiable threat, and what exactly is the threat. Apparently, we have to save the judicial system that many Ghanaians have dismissed as unfit for purpose. The judiciary has lost the trust and confidence of majority of Ghanaians. They say we should reform it, but we should save it. How and why? Good morning from Mansa Musa. So it's a question he's throwing out there, but good morning, Annie. The same people who hounded the electoral commissioner from the office have suddenly found their voices and defending the indefensible. Deductions, how do you know it's indefensible? Deductions from the petitions and the responses emanating from the suspended Chief Justice clearly indicates that she violated her own office and used it for her personal gains. The gains, and please, I'm disassociating the platform from your comment because I cannot confirm that, and I cannot rule on all the deductions you're actually getting from social media. The best decisions is for the Chief Justice to resign rather than going through the hurdle of seeing commission of inquiry. David Edu from Timor West is the one saying this. Chris from Ashalibuche says, Annie, the call from the reinstatement of the Chief Justice is nauseating. Who woke the GBA from their slumber? Where have they been during the past 8 years? Cruel rule of the Nanado administration, you say. We are not living on an animal farm. Nobody is a second-class citizen. Annie, please, do certain folks in Ghana only reason and seek righteousness when the MPP is in opposition? Good over evil. Only time will expose the hypocrisy of some people. The reset agenda must positively affect every sector, including the judiciary, Annie. There's a great change in... Chris, thank you. I won't read on. Prosper says that, good morning, Annie. You know what? I'm not a lawyer, but at least my appreciation of Article 146 of our Constitution seems to be clear. I've been struggling to understand any MPP communicator with regards to same. None of them have espoused clearly where the president has gone wrong. Maybe my text would afford the opportunity for your panelists to tell us where His Excellency went wrong with the process and determination of prima facie. I'm sure a majority of viewers of Metro TV would want some education. Can you give some 2 minutes opportunity for my dear Lara to do that for us, please? Good morning, Prosper. Your dear Prosper, Lara, your dear Prosper is asking for you to, state. But I think Lara has also stated that apart from the fact that we think or we say the president has not breached any law, the president also has the powers to...
Which powers? Where?
Presidential... discretionary powers.
Where is the president expected to exercise?
Do you think that the president has not gotten the discretionary powers to say that, oh, well, I've received petitions, but I'm not interested in this?
I think that what we are doing, first of all, let me...
Wait, I'm not done. But
okay.
Chumbwafo says that, Danny, look at the writ by Vincent Assefuwa again. The petitioner is one Stephen Yankee, a law clerk at Godfrey Damit's law firm. Seriously, they couldn't find anyone else to petition the courts. So today, the MPP know about the spirit of laws. They know that laws are enacted with the understanding that any overwhelming amount of people have common sense, and in quotes. Musa Abatwa from Aswasi says, Annie, especially agreed with law arbitraries, it's entirely unreasonable for any group to expect the president to abandon their constitutional responsibilities simply because they are dissatisfied. Has President Mahama violated any law in his handling of the petition against the Chief Justice? Absolutely not. If the GBA believes otherwise, the appropriate avenue is courts. A group of lawyers will call on the president to forsake his constitutional duty. Are they not themselves promoting lawlessness as a question? Okay, so I have more, but let me just read it. And Chubafu is saying that, Annie, I wasn't going to ask Laura to a question, but she's compelling me to. So please ask her. What the president appoints 97 judges in an 8-year time span, including 22 Superior Court judges. Is that any viewer can ask you questions? You can choose to answer.
No,
I'm the host, but you can choose to answer.
Chubafu has been very consistent.
It's a message he has sent, so it's okay.
Message well noted.
Okay. So
how is FIC doing?
Court judges.
Maybe you should tell us.
Is that packing the courts? And where was the president discretion during that time? More importantly, where was Gehe Girl's voice when it was happening? Okay. Bitches, let me give you a chance
about
to
Gehe
respond
Girls?
to a few things.
So I think that
quickly, I want us to touch on the MPP. Thank you, 12.
Yes, I think that we ought not to trivialize what is happening. But it's important that we also correct some misconception. First of all, the Chief Justice is not the judiciary. And so let's not equate the Chief Justice to the judiciary so that it appears someone is interfering with the independence of the judiciary. And I also want to say that the judiciary is not absolutely so independent to not be subject to the rules of accountability. Because, listen, in the case of Ejechum versus Attorney General and Bright Equity, Professor Okran said something, that a claim of a constitutionally protected absolute administrative autonomy for the Chief Justice must fail. And so it is only expected that because the Chief Justice is the head of the judiciary, we ought to, or the standard is even higher, the standard required is higher. And that is why when it comes to the removal of the Chief Justice, Article 146 separated how Supreme Court judges should be removed from how a Chief Justice should be removed. And in all the discussion and Laura Too's thinking of I've seen the petition, I haven't seen the petition, and back and forth, no way have they been able to demonstrate that President Mahama ought to have done A, but as we speak, he rather did B. Nobody is saying that President Mahama has done any wrong. Nobody is saying that a discretion, if any, has been exercised wrongly. The Constitution itself contemplates that the Chief Justice can be suspended when a prima facie case is made, and that is exactly what is happening. As we speak, the judiciary is very independent. And Annie, if you want to trust the political party and the government that swears to the sovereignty or the independence of the judiciary, it is the NDC. The acting Chief Justice, Justice Bafoboni, was appointed by President Kufuor in 2008.
Yes.
In fact, all her time that she's gone through the ladder in the judiciary to be a Supreme Court judge, it has been President Kufuor's appointment or nomination that has led her. So if we were to go by their logic, then Justice Bafoboni has no association howsoever described with the NDC. Or you think the NDC did not know that by suspending the Chief Justice, the most senior will be the acting Chief Justice by operation of law, and so allowed. It demonstrates clearly to you that the NDC is not interested in politicizing the judiciary, because we recognize that justice emanates from the people. And
yes, but there's also the accusation that members of the NDC, for example, Sami Jenfi, has made prejudicial comments on platforms. Same have been said about NPP communicators making prejudicial comments about the same issue.
See, let's not behave as if the judiciary is above criticism. In fact, my senior and I are trying to create time to write an article criticizing certain decisions of the judiciary. And the Constitution and the laws of Ghana itself recognizes that the judiciary is fallible. And so inherent even in the judicial process is the ability for a lawyer or a client to petition or appeal. So when somebody criticizes the judiciary, it is not as if the judiciary is above reproach. We can disagree with the judiciary when even themselves, that is why there is a dissenting opinion.
Yes.
That even, and if you read the likes of Justice Denning, Lord Denning and the rest, you will see when they are dissenting, sometimes even the words they use to describe the majority opinion in the event they are dissenting are things that if ordinary people had used, they probably would have been found in contempt of court. So the judiciary is not above reproach. What the MPP communicators, Afenya Markin, Godfrey Dami, Vincent, and all those MPP people who are behaving as if the Chief Justice was once a member of the MPP, what they are not able to tell is that there has not been any legal infractions on the part of President Mahama in this matter. In the Charlotte Osei case, the many of us who criticized it said that we believe you should have given her a right to be heard in accordance with natural justice. As we speak, the Chief Justice, in fact, she was giving more than she even asked herself. So who can say that the rules of natural justice have been breached? I think, and then again, as I've said, and in concluding, this should be a wake-up call to all of us.
So what do you say to the argument that, well, you know, things have been done in the past. The NDC have criticized it. Things are happening now. The NPP and other parties are criticizing it. We seem to be...
no other party apart from NPP. Because recently, GUM came around and said...
It's just GUM.
But have you heard,
other political parties.
Have you heard anybody from other...
When we went to the polls, did you see that?
Yes, but nobody has... Nobody has criticized...
Matters not, but did you see the ballot paper?
Yes, I saw there were about 13.
Exactly.
But
so
I'm
we have
saying
political parties.
nobody
I'm just
has
saying.
Criticized.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that there seemed to be a cycle, especially with the institutions that are supposed to be that's engraved, neutral, and trusted. But almost every government comes and has a problem with one office or the other. So there is also the concern that let's not set some precedents that is likely to take a cycle.
I agree with you. Yes. And for me, I agree with you. I'm even happy this is happening at the time where the Constitutional Review Committee is going round, so that we can begin to have a national discourse that let us maybe amend our constitution. Because what is happening is simply the creation of our constitution. Nobody has done anything. And if President Mahama were to act otherwise, that in itself has its own consequences. And so maybe the Constitutional Review Commission, Professor Prempeh and the rest, should be looking at how to amend the provision. If we think that maybe 2/3 of Parliament should be the ones impeaching the Chief Justice, so that when a petition such as this is received,
it's not left for the executive.
Exactly, but in the face of any constitutional breaches, in the face of the man who has not even shown any desire to interfere, we in the NDC, because we know we don't know judges, and we don't have the privileges of calling Supreme Court judges at dawn, to invite witnesses and everything, our only best is to learn the law.
Okay.
They know those who apply the law. We know the law.
Okay.
I'm just hoping, and you see, I'm happy about what is happening for one thing. For once, law lecturers can go back to their classrooms because MPP is no longer in power. And in teaching constitutional law, principles of constitutionalism will make sense. Because for the past 8 years, lecturers have been struggling with decisions from the Supreme Court. And I'm happy that we are setting a new... Yes!
Well, they struggle in what they should lecture in class.
Yes, because they lecture you with decisions of the Supreme Court. How are you going to explain to a first-year law student that stay of execution can be granted ex parte within 2 hours? How are you going to explain to a law student that the Supreme Court can actually exercise its original jurisdiction in staying a judgment of a high court? These things, I don't even know how civil procedure lecturers were teaching. So some sanity ought to be restored in the system so that you and I would go back to the judiciary when we have a matter, and we trust that the judge's wig which says that I can either hear NDC or MPP, but I can only see the evidence before me, will be given some effect because we have really heard and seen things.
Okay. Larata, what did you want to say?
Where Beatrice ended is exactly where they are pushing us to. That you are talking about constitutional reviews, you are talking about doing something right, and you want to hound the CJ out. Is that how to make things right?
Is NDC the practitioners?
Beatrice.
No, so use the right term.
He's sitting here and you see, consistency is a virtue. You are sitting here talking about not wanting to politicize the issue, but at every chance, you mention MPP, known MPs. You are mentioning MPP lawyers platform and all that. Let's be very nationalistic about this. I'm reading this memorandum from the acting CJ, and I'm wondering, how sustainable is this? And what is the motive behind this? The court complex alone has 34 courts. Can the CJ, acting CJ, sustain this? But you see...
Sustain what?
All cases being assigned. In one breath, we need to expedite the hearing of cases. In another breath, cases have been heard too early. The NDC needs, the government needs to be consistent. Look, like I said, in all that has been said, in all the things they said about the CJ, in all the things they said about her, in all the threats they issued prior to election, even her suspension was treated like a movie premiere by Sami Jefi, announcing when it is going to happen on his socials.
Oh, it's not true.
When did he announce that?
Never announced anything.
Say, it is today, it is this. What was it? Their suspension or announcement of this Egypt. You get it? They've said all kinds of things. They've gone to the extent, of saying, Annie, she said a lot of things about people in my party.
I know.
There was no point that you stopped there.
The point where she
there
said,
was no point that you said anything.
When she makes statements that I cannot actually...
So you know what happens on MPP lawyers' platforms that she was referring to. But you know what happens on MPP lawyers' platform that she alluded, she was citing.
So there was no MPP. Godfrey Dami.
Oh, you didn't hear the bit she said about MPP lawyers' platform? You didn't hear that?
Was there anything criminal about that?
No. Do you know what happens there? Can you ascertain what she said?
Please let me go on. No, Laratu, I will not let you go on.
Okay.
I will not. She didn't make a statement that I had to
But what
prove
did I
anything.
say?
She said
did Sami Jefi put on his socials that it is today?
Hold on. She said,
and it was the announcement of the CJ suspension.
She said they have legal.
She
said they have legal.
Have NDC people call the CJ women organizer of the MPP or not?
In their legal friendliness or frenzy.
She was giving a sneak peek into the MPP lawyers.
She said they have
platform.
NDC legal platforms and then they have MPP legal platforms.
So she knows, because they are friends, she knows what is happening on MPP. No, because they are friends, she knows what is happening on MPP lawyers platform. Is that what you're saying? That she knows because they are friends. She knows what is happening on the MPP platform, and you can ascertain that.
Did she give you any information that has happened on the MPP platform?
She said they are the Godfrey Dami
and the former attorney,
are the ones writing things for them. You didn't hear that?
That's not what I said.
What did you say, Beatrice?
I said that on the MPP lawyers platform.
You are there. Are you there?
I said I have the screenshot.
From where?
From the platform. Godfrey Dami and the Deputy Attorney General were mobilizing their lawyers to attend the media
and you can
conference.
Ascertain this.
What is wrong about it?
And you can ascertain.
No, what is wrong about it? What is illegal about it?
That's when we are attending the...
Yes. What is illegal about it?
You haven't seen NDC... Beatrice was the first to share this.
Yes, because it's a memo.
Beatrice.
Yes.
But when we are talking,
no, she was not
we are spokespersons of the CJ. Justice Tokobu. But when they are doing this, they are not spokespersons of the judiciary.
I am a practicing lawyer. I have seen a directive from the acting Chief Justice that all lawyers must
take convenient that all over the years that you never shared any communication that please give it to
me. That's
let's be consistent and let's be nationalistic about this. So at the end of the day, it's the judiciary that we all run to. How they do it, and they have a record for that because of their PNDC days and all that. They have a record of how they treat judges and all that. Prior to election, they talked about packing, of course, they talked about unanimous FC, they talk in one breath, the CJ is not the judiciary. In another breath, the CJ is the leader of the judiciary.
So if you're leader of the judiciary, you are the judiciary.
Will be the record of the current government.
Why is the MPP
and I
other
don't think he wants
demonstrating to be against?
Because that is our safe haven. The judiciary is our safe haven. That is why in the three arms of government, there are checks and balances.
Okay.
A judge doesn't just get up to go and say, it goes through parliament. At the lower levels, it goes from the CJ to the president.
But you admit that the checks and balances, the constitution allows for any ordinary Ghanaian to petition.
That's what
if you find something awkward about the office of the person in question, which is what's happening.
There's nothing wrong with raising issues when you are not happy about something.
So what are you demonstrating against?
But when you also have people that say, so my human rights have been breached, when you can go to court in that way. But let's say, you haven't cited the petition, let's stick to that. But you know that the CJ will be battered when it's heard in public. It's fine.
The CJ or the CJ's office?
Come again.
Is it the office of the CJ or the CJ?
What are you talking
about? Did you see that?
You said after everything, the CJ's image.
No, no. She said that she hasn't cited it. But the resolution by the GBA said that it should be heard in public. At this point,
did you see the public domain?
Some of the things are so frivolous that you wonder what the motivation is.
The argument many people made was that that video should not have been put in public because it will butter the image of the judiciary. At that point, you didn't even give the judges who were alleged to have taken the goats and those things the opportunity to be heard. Some of them were dismissed and all that. Why?
Okay.
So there is a reason why
this is a premeditated political vendetta and well-meaning Ghanaians.
Okay, so what do you expect to gain after the demonstration?
Come again. But what are demonstrations?
They want their voices to be heard.
You need to
put it out there.
I mean, we've had the current president call diplomatic corps and show them horror movies over the years. So this is nothing new. The coalition of parties, including the MPP and other parties, are having a demonstration to draw the attention of it. The judiciary is our safe haven. That's the place we all run
for the MPP.
We shouldn't sit down and allow any government to topple it.
Okay, Evans Dinko from Bolga says that, Danny, good morning. And Lara too, and MPP keep saying that the NDC executive said in opposition that when we come, we were going to remove the CJ and EC. That is true, but we are yet to come with our petitions on that. But these petitions are not coming from those in the NDC executives who say so. So let Lara to relax. When this is over, the NDC petition will follow, even to their new endeavors, wherever they will be. Evans Denko, thank you. Good morning to you. Okay. Richard Ahemba, good morning to you. We hope to see you this week. Thank you for the information.
Tuesdays,
as well, sometimes. Now he keeps changing.
Good morning to Richard Ahemba. But let me ask, why is Richard not scripting Dr. Baumia on the thank you, Thor?
It's
so bad.
But he's not even there.
The way Dr. Baumia is going after Nanado,
no, he's not a communication director for the Baumia campaign.
No, but for the party. But at least you are here talking about it. We want a multi-party. Charlie, Baumia is not taking it easy with
what is your business with Dr. Baumia?
It's so bad. He said you were so arrogant in power. That's why you people lost. He said the E-levy, Charlie, is so bad.
You are in government. Your party chairman is saying the president cannot work because people are all over the place fighting to be flag bearer. The man is not even 1 year in office. People are already running over each other. And you are here talking about a party in opposition.
Good morning.
But are the things that Baumia saying are true?
But
are the things that
Baumia saying what are you saying? Baumia is lying.
You didn't hear what he said.
The E-levy, that arrogance of power.
What led
you will not listen. Should be interacting people.
Is that new?
No, I'm asking if it's true.
Is that
E-levy.
Is it true?
What is
that arrogance of power?
And you know the killer
cathedral.
No, listen.
It's true. He mentioned the cathedral.
Listen. We're in government for 8 years.
Please, they should give us some 10 minutes so I can also have my bite.
There were actions, there were inactions. that Ghanaians were not happy about. People espoused those things. People in the party espoused certain reservations. It even led to some people leaving.
I think this is on page 78 of the...
No, it's on page 66. I don't know why you are moving from page 66. Everything that they found out is on page 66. Look, it's a toll.
Thank you.
To reach out to party people.
It's a toll
because
to vent.
Reach out to party people and also show appreciation to Ghanaians who voted for us.
It's changing from
we
thank
didn't
you
get
to...
zero. We didn't get zero.
No,
We got some, a little over 41%, as gazetted by the EC.
We still can't see the gazetted results. We have gone to the EC's.
The results that EC
still not
released,
the
didn't see
no,
it.
the EC's website, the results are not there. Why are they not there?
So what does EC not, so what did you find out?
But I mean, it's not fair. You've given Laura to... I need to... Oh, but
what's it?
But
you're not going to talk about the new patriotic party.
It's not a thank you talk. It's like, I want to talk my mind to you.
Do you feel go and hold the people that are not making the president work. Let him work, because what you are doing today, what you are doing shows that you are not, the president is not working.
He didn't know. He said, how can you sing 58?
He didn't say he didn't know.
Baumia is more than an NBC communicator.
Thank you very much for watching the program. We're back tomorrow with Good Morning Ghana.
Good afternoon.